Unicorn here, and I'm back for another video. I know it's been a couple of months and there's been so many stories on why it's been so long, but today is New Year's Eve and I'm really excited to say that I'm going to be making videos once again. I graduated from college, so there will be some more coming out, while meanwhile I'm looking for jobs. So this is going to be so exciting. I wanted to get a video up before the new year started, and this is it. And today's video is going to be on 5 stories that are behind video games, very popular video games that a lot of people know, and I don't know if there's one on this list that no one knows. So we're gonna get straight into the video with the real story of Nintendo's Mario. Because of arcade titles such as Mario Kart and Mario Party, the Mario franchise seems to have little storyline behind the games, which is definitely true. According to this particular theory, Mario's story began in a series of Yoshi's Island games. I love Yoshi! Yoshi is just like the cutest little dinosaur thingy-mabobber ever. According to Nintendo, he's not a dinosaur. I don't know what he is. In which Mario was born and grew up in the Mushroom Kingdom. So he grew up in the Mushroom Kingdom, so I guess that's where he was born, which I did not know. I thought he grew up in Italy, like, excuse me, he's Mario, for God's sake. He is an Italian plumber and he grew up in Mushroom Kingdom. That has nothing to do with Italy. However, for reasons unknown, by the time he became an adult, he and his brother Luigi were already residing in Brooklyn, New York. Wait a minute, what? Wait. So when they became adults, they moved here to New York. They lived in Brooklyn. That's not too far from where I am. Do they still live there today? Like, can I just like travel there and find Mario and Luigi and be like, I love your games? Like, where's Yoshi? He's my favorite. Like, give me Yoshi. He's mine now. The manuals for some games go so far as to say the brothers grew up in Brooklyn even. I don't know why it says even there. But the exact details were often unclear. They did not grow up in Brooklyn. It literally says at the top that they grew up in Mushroom Kingdom. Like, that's not anywhere near Brooklyn. At some point in time, Mario found pipes that could take him back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and thus began his adventures to save Princess Peach, the part of the canon that is most familiar to most players. So he found plumbing pipes, I guess, in Brooklyn as he was like working as a plumber or something as his job, and he was like, oh my god, I can go back and see my princess. Like, if I jumped down a tube, if I jumped down a pipe, can I go to Mushroom Kingdom? Can someone show me how to get to Mushroom Kingdom? Over several games, the main antagonist, Bowser, repeatedly attempted to kidnap Princess Peach and conquer the Mushroom Kingdom, but his plans were always foiled by Mario. So everyone keeps on saying that, according to other stories, that Bowser is actually the good guy and Mario is the bad guy because he's like jumping on top of all like these creatures and they're actually like the mushroom people or something. But like, now here it's saying that Bowser is actually the bad guy because he's trying to take over the kingdom. Eventually Bowser gave up and peace was restored in the Mushroom Kingdom, leading to a series of games that did not feature any real storylines, such as Mario Kart and Mario Party. Now we have a little brief history of Pokemon. So Mario was number 1, and the brief story or history of Pokemon is story number 2. We're going through 5 of them. When it comes to Pokemon, you are either completely aware of it and have been following the games, the anime, the movies, the trading cards, and everything else, or are completely bewildered by the Pokemon mania, regardless of which camp you are in. Sit back, grab your beverage of choice, and relax. We are going to take a trip back in time to the very beginning of Pokemon. So that was like the little intro that they have here. And I don't have my water bottles back there. I don't have a drink. So this is my imaginary drink. Everybody grab your imaginary drinks with me and sit back and relax. Pokemon is short for pocket monsters. That I've heard before. I've heard that definitely once before in my life. The original Japanese name. So that's the original Japanese name is pocket monsters. We just Americanized it and called it Pokemon. The franchise has its roots in a gaming magazine in the early 1980s in Japan, Game Freak. I'm a game freak. Are you a game freak? Because I'm a game freak. I know you're a game freak. They soon realized that the arcade scene at the time was too hot anymore and decided to develop games themselves. This included games that were published by Nintendo on the NES and Game Boy, like Yoshi, and even games for SEGA. If you would like to read more about this, I'm going to put the link in the description below along with the Mario link. But this is very interesting because I grew up with Pokemon. It came out the year before. I was born in 1996, and thereon my cousins introduced it to me. I started learning more about it. They had like a poster in their closet in the basement, and I was always like looking at it, and I collected the cards. They gave me cards. I traded with my friends. Like, I grew up with this. And I definitely love Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon has to be Pikachu, and hold on a minute. I have a giant Pikachu right here. He sits right next to my desk and just like chills out with me. Sometimes he's on my bed, and my boyfriend got this for me. We found him at Target, and he was just like sitting there on a shelf, just like staring me down and be like, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. So then my boyfriend got him for me because I really wanted it. So, Pikachu, I love you, but you're gonna have to go back down on the little bench you were on. So we now have the story behind Sonic the Hedgehog, and if you have not seen the Sonic movie, I recommend you go see it because that movie was actually really good. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog did come out in the 90s. I have one of Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog games for the PS2, which I still need to set up. They also considered making Sonic an armadillo. Why? Why an armadillo? I think the hedgehog is better. Sonic the armadillo? No, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't roll off the tongue. Sonic the armadillo. No, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. That sounds so much better. Or a porcupine. Sonic the porcupine. No. He's a hedgehog. He's a hedgehog all the way. A dog? Sonic the dog? And surely, old guy with a mustache. Oh, so basically like an old version of Mario? No, he's Sonic the Hedgehog. He's not... Hear me out. He's not an armadillo, he's not a porcupine, he's not a dog, and he's not an old man with a mustache. This last idea eventually made its way into the character design of Eggman Dr. Robotnik. The story of how the Sonic team settled on a hedgehog is a bit wild. So I guess like the person that started it, Ashima, I think is how you pronounce his name, says he had planned a trip to New York. Woo! New York! Go New York! If you're from New York, please let me know and put that in the comments below. While the aforementioned character discussion on happening internally, knowing that the team wanted to see examples of characters along these lines, he sketched them on boards in Central Park and started showing random passerby gaggling their reactions. So supposedly Sonic the Hedgehog was the most popular that people pointed out, so good, he's stuck, he stayed, because once again, he's not a porcupine, he's not a whatever other armadillo, old man with a mustache, he's not any of that. He is a hedgehog all the way. He says he asked himself why that might be, and eventually settled on the answer that lots of people chose the hedgehog because it was cute and transcended race and gender and things like that. So he brought the sketches back and decided to pitch the hedgehog as the game's mascot. While designing the character that became Sonic, Oshima said the idea was to make something striking that could be drawn by children. Do you think your 2-year-old could draw Sonic the Hedgehog? I struggle to draw. This is not able to... I don't think children might be able to draw this if they're very talented. No offense. Like, if you're very talented, I'm so happy for you. I have a sketchbook and I'm pretty talented in like the anime portion of drawing. I drew Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that, but now I need to try to draw Sonic the Hedgehog because I have not tried that yet, and I'm now gonna have to try. The next story is PacMan. So the true story behind PacMan, back before the days of cinematic cute scenes, tie-in novels, and movie adaptations, video gamers had to presume much of the backstory for their beloved pixelated pastimes. PacMan, however, seemed to defy explanation even by the absurd standard of 80s arcade games. At least sci-fi writer Chris Robertson has unearthed an image that may explain the rationale behind the man called Pac. So his name is Pac and he's a man, so PacMan. In some cases, this was simple. Asteroids, obviously, was about a spaceship navigating through the asteroid belt. Burger Time was about making burgers, and Donkey Kong was about lying the smack to a girl knobbing ape. Okay, that had nothing to do with Pac-Man, but it was still in here. So, Donkey Kong is an ape that steals women. I'm not even gonna go there. I wanted to learn more about PacMan, but I'm gonna put the link in the description below, and I'm gonna do some more research about it, and maybe put those links below too, because I want to find the real story behind PacMan. Like, what's the true story? Like, why is he chasing after those ghosts? Why? And lastly, number 5 is about Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is the title character and main protagonist of the Crash Bandicoot series. Introduced in the 1996 video game Crash Bandicoot, Crash is a mutant Eastern buried bandicoot. That's a mouthful. So he's just like a mutt, basically. Genetically, I'm just giving up. Enhanced by the series' main antagonist, Dr. Nero, Cortex has soon escaped from Cortex's castle after a failed experiment in the Cortex Vortex. Throughout the series, Crash acts as the opposition against Cortex and his schemes for world domination. While Crash has a number of offensive maneuvers at his disposal, his most distinctive technique is one in which he spins like a tornado at high speeds and knocks away almost anything that he strikes. Crash was created by Andy Gavin and Jason Rubin. It was originally designed by Charles Zembelas. Crash was intended to be a mascot character for Sony to use to compete against Nintendo's Mario and Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog, before Crash was given his name, which stems from the visceral reaction to the character's destruction of boxes. He was referred to as Willy the Wombat. Willy? For much of the duration of the first game's production, Crash has drawn comparisons to Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog by reviewers. His animations have been prized while his voice was faced criticism. His redesign in the Radical Entertainment games has drawn mixed reactions. Andy Gavin and Jason Rubin went with Willy the Wombat as a temporary name for the starring character of the game. The name was never meant to be final, due both to the names surrounding too dorky. Willy the Wombat, it's not really dorky, it's just, it doesn't fit. And to the existence of a non-video game property of the same name. Oh yeah, there is something very similar. Something else is called Willy the Wombat, I think. And the character was effectively a Bandicoot by October 1994, but was still referred to as Willy the Wombat, because the final name has not been formulated yet. Wanting their mascot game to be multi-dimensional in character depth as well as gameplay, Gavin and Rubin chose not to base Willy around one attribute such as fast or cute. The team felt that Willy should be goofy and fun-loving and never talk. So he was supposed to be a mute? But there's certain scenes where I think he does talk, though, and he has, like, that little cute child voice. The character's muteness was based on the theory that voices for video game characters were always lame, negative, and distracted from identification with them. That makes no sense. So they made the characters mute because of some theory? If you would like to read more about Crash Bandicoot and the story behind it, the link will be in the description below. But that's it for the end of this video, and I hope that you all have a happy new year and just a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you guys next year.